When I'm not getting so sick and tired of it always being 75 degrees and sunny in Southern California, I like to answer questions and comments that I get on my YouTube, so let's get to it. Maybe the wrong video to ask this on, but I've noticed when I'm strumming, often my pick will hit the guitar as well and will cause a tap sound. Is this normal? If not, how do I fix this? Just slow down and really get my strumming motion more fluid? This is a great question. This is something that I used to suffer from, and here's one tip that will really change this forever, okay? And that's really fixing your hand to the bridge. And this isn't to say you have to palm mute it, but it also does help with that, right? So it's funny, like you've got these pick guards on your guitar, right? This is Martin D18 that they sent over. And it's supposed to guard your pick from hitting and damaging the wood of the guitar, but you still might get that tapping sound, right? Ever since I started palm muting, which was really kind of late in my playing career, I guess. What I mean by that is like take the side of your hand, judo chop the bridge pins, and then you can get that deadened sound like that, right? If you're strumming with like the campfire sound that they say, it's fine, right? But that's when that tapping will occur. So a couple things to do. First of all, this sound right here, you don't have to be so glamorous with it. You can still get like a... See, it's really the same volume even when I'm locked into position, right? But the nice thing about locking your hand onto the bridge pins, you're not deadening the sound of the guitar, but you have the option to choke up just a little bit, right? And then the side benefit from that is you literally cannot reach the pick guard or the body of the guitar unless you're really digging into it, right? So it has like a lot of different benefits. First of all, like I said, it just kind of creates a repetition that you're gonna need to get really good to kind of like hit those individual strings, right? Because if you're out in space trying to like get those, your hand isn't really finding the right spot every single time. So it's more of a combination of finding a point of contact on the guitar, which can be different if you're standing than if you're sitting, right? Those are two different things. But generally what I like to do, I like to affix my forearm to the base right here, and then have another point of contact with my palm or the side of my hand near the bridge pins or actually on the string set, right? So if you're getting a lot of that tapping, really focus on palm muting and then really kind of work your way through all the parts of the string set, right? Because then you're gonna have that really familiar feel with your picking hand and you won't be as wild. But you can still kind of get theatrical with the strumming when you want to, but make it be a conscious decision because it does look a little bit different live when you're kind of really going at it and like having a good time. But also live, you're generally not as worried about getting a tapping sound on the top of the guitar, right? It's usually when you're like recording in a recording environment where it's like really gonna be noticeable. And live, it's like whatever. Good enough for live is like the new thing is the new phrase that I have adopted into my vocabulary, right? So kind of two different schools of thought, but again, you don't have to be, but it's gonna help you immensely to really kind of train yourself to do this where you're always in the same position. Your strumming pattern is gonna get way better. It's gonna be way easier just to diagnose strumming patterns. Yeah, I think you'll find your timing is better because your downstrokes and your upstrokes are always gonna be about the same time once you have like a locked position in there. And then like I said, if you have like a cool show and you wanna look cool and jump around, then you can actually take it off and then do whatever you want. But make that be a conscious decision instead of the only way that you're able to play. I really enjoyed the process and the results were fantastic. Would love to hear more collabs. So this is on a video I posted a few days ago with my buddy Andres where we kind of did a long distance thing where he laid down the electric guitar and a vocal with the Phoenix Pro microphone, and then I came and kind of finished the video, finished the arrangement and stuff like that. I think it turned out super great. In fact, the company that sponsored that video, Phoenix Pro, who has like wireless handheld mics, they said that they would give away a set to a US resident that watches my channel. So if you are interested in like getting a free set of these microphones, go comment on that video. I'll link it in the description. And just let me know what your favorite part of the song was. And then if you're living in the US, I'll pick one of those comments and then we'll email it, and then they'll send you a free set of microphones. So check that out. If you already did comment, comment again, because I'll be like looking at the comments starting today of what people said. But yeah, really love how that song turned out. So check it out and get yourself a free microphone by commenting on that video. Yeah, dude, I've played for over 10 years. There's no way you knew the names of each notes on the frets before knowing scales. Scale teaches you that on your own unless you play piano, so I'd be calling BS on that. It's funny that there must be no other, there's no way that you could know the names of the notes but actually not know them through scales. It's impossible to be able to count to 12 without knowing everything in the major scale. I love that I'm being called on BS because I could go, oh, one string, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D sharp, E. I could do that, but having the ability of a really high-level chimpanzee to be able to count to 12, but not know that those notes populate a major scale in different patterns, that's total BS. I didn't catch what you're calling this song. Thanks for the demonstration of putting it all together. I would be interested in some more depth on this here, or perhaps Patreon. Yeah, so this is on the video I posted yesterday about a new original song that I wrote, which nobody watched, but that's fine. That's okay. That's why I'm happy to go into more depth on it, but it'll be on the Patreon because nobody really cares about original music on YouTube. But for the people who do care, I just uploaded it's like a over 40-minute, I guess it's kind of like a lesson because it teaches how to play the song, which I think is like a really fun song to play actually. And it's got some cool chords and stuff. And it's different time signatures and stuff like that. So again, I love how that turned out. So half of it is just like the songwriting process, and the other half is like a more in-depth thing about how I mixed it and like all the plugins I use. So if you are interested in any of that stuff, I'll link you to that on the Patreon. But yeah, thank you to everybody who did watch that video, and yeah, check out more over there. Bro, unpopular opinion, you look so young and so old at the same time. You know what's funny? This isn't the first time I've gotten that comment. But listen, this is what 39 looks like when you eat super clean and exercise every day, but also your career is determined by an algorithm. So it's like this combo of young energy and extremely beaten down old energy just really kind of coalescing into its final form. Well, probably not its final form. It'll probably, I'll keep seeing what I can do. See how far I can push this look into the future. This thing of perfectly intonated guitars is just horrible is anti-musical for hundreds of different reasons. So this was on the video I did with the guitar and the squiggly frets. Stromberg sent over a true tempered instrument. That was a really interesting video because I chatted with my buddy Brian and he knows really a lot about this stuff, being like a video game composer and stuff. So I'll link that too because I've never played one of the squiggly fret instruments before, and I was really shocked by how it required no actual practice to play with something like that. It was super eye-opening to me that like my hands just naturally adapted to that whole kind of thing. So check that out. But I think it's a hot take to be like a perfectly in tuned instrument is a bad thing. Like I'm interested to hear one of the hundreds of reasons that having a true tempered guitar that is always in tune is a bad thing. Maybe you could help enlighten me on the comments. Like I get that like the soul of the rock and roll isn't worried about tuning. It's like it's fine if it's a little out of tune. I'm about that. I'm on that train. But that's a pretty spicy take to be like perfectly intonated instrument, not interested. Pedal your wares elsewhere, sir. Our listening homework is going to be my new song. I'm going to make you listen to it. It is in that video that I did just kind of demoing that MBox Studio, which is like an awesome interface. So definitely if you guys are interested in that, I would be happy to answer more questions about that. But I need a name for that song. So again, I realized that they asked me the question if I had a name for it, and I just didn't answer it because I don't have a name. So listening homework is go listen to that song. I'll timestamp it so you don't have to watch the whole video, just where the actual song begins. But yeah, check that out. Go comment on the video with Andres and win yourself a free microphone set. It's like it's two mics actually that plug into the same receiver, so it's really just handy to have around. And if you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, Patreon, or the website. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.